Hey guys, I hope you're all okay. I'm back. I'm doing a video. I've done a video about everything that's been going on. If you haven't seen that, then I'll add it in the description down below and you can check that one out. So today I'm doing a video about this update that's going on in the UK with the Home Secretary Priti Patel and the things that she's going to be doing. Now, I'm not into politics or anything like that, but this is something to do with DV, and it's something to do with DV victims, and I think it's a big change. That's something that should have happened a long bloody time ago to help people. It would have saved a lot of people from going through that if they had this option. Now, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be a little bit long-winded. And by the way, I'm recording this on my phone, so if you're wondering why I'm looking like over here, it's because my camera is like over there. So anyway, this was released yesterday by the British government. Home Secretary launched his new tackling DA plan. Home Secretary Priti Patel has today, the 30th of March, which was yesterday, launched a new tackling DA plan informed by victims and survivors. It says here, the new plan aligns closely to the recent Tackling V against women and girls strategy and sets a clear ambition of prioritising the prevention of these awful crimes, supporting victims and pursuing perpetrators. So, I don't know why this is aimed at just women and girls, by the way, because I am aware that statistic wise, like women and girls, like it is high statistics that we've been through that more, but guys do go through it too, as we all know. Like, I've been following the John Depp case and covering it here and there, and he's a guy, so this happens to guys as well. Anyway, it says here, some 2.3 million people in England and Wales experienced DA in the last year, and around 1 in 5 unalivings, we shall say, are related to DA. The government has already taken steps to prevent these crimes, but the new plan is set to go even further in tackling this threat by delivering many of the provisions set out in the DA Act. Home Secretary Priti Patel said, DA is Let me just try that one again. DA is a devastating crime that ruins lives, and tackling it is an important part of this government's beating crime plan. For far too long, the focus has been on what the victim might have done differently, rather than on the behaviour of the perpetrators themselves. This must now change. My DA plan focuses on taking the onus off victims and making it easy for them to access the help and support they need, while taking tough action against perpetrators. Right, I'm liking the sound of this so far. I'm liking the sound of it. Right. The plan includes new measures to tackle perpetrators, including options for creating a new register for abusers, which could require perpetrators to take actions such as reporting to the police when changing address or opening a bank account with a new partner. So that's saying that when somebody who has been arrested for DV or DA, when they've been arrested for that and it is on their criminal record, when they open a bank account with a new partner or they move addresses with a new partner, the police will be notified, and the police will then be able to notify the person they're opening the bank or the house with. Anyway, increasing electronic tagging to a further 3,500 individuals who have left prison and who pose a risk to women and girls. So in the UK we call that tag. It's where they have the electronic device around their ankle, and it can it puts them on a curfew and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think they're in the majority of countries, but you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Investing 75 million on directly addressing abusers' behaviour as part of an overall £81 million for tackling perpetrators over the next 3 years. So this is very long-winded, by the way, guys. This goes on and on and on and on and on. But this thing here that they're going to be doing, where they're going to be able to, the police can notify the new partner that they are opening a bank account with somebody who's been convicted of DV. This is amazing. Like, this is something that can really help women who don't know how to like reach out and stuff. Like, I don't know exactly how they're gonna be able to, you know, make this work, but this sounds good so far. Anyway, regarding supporting victims, it says the plan aims to help all victims and survivors who have escaped from DA feel that they can get back to life as normal, with support for their health, emotional, economic and social needs. This includes a doubling of funding for the National DA Helpline, which sees an average 15,000 users every 3 months, and an uplift for all other national tackling VAWG helplines, which I don't know what that is, by the way, guys, to a combined total of over £2 million a year. A commitment to reviewing the statutory leave laws for victims of DA. Funding 700 independent DV and SV advocate roles, with additional funding for 300 roles later this year to refer and support victims and survivors. This is all amazing, like, to get this support out there for people. But what I think that they should aim at is finding ways to reach people who require support, because sometimes when you've been through DV or SA, you don't know how to ask for support. Like, sometimes you feel really embarrassed and sometimes you feel ashamed. Like, and you know what, I'm just being honest and candid with this, because I've been through DV myself, and there is them elements of emotional there, like, and not, you know, you feel hard to reach out and ask for help, or when people offer it you, you're like, I don't know how to accept that because of what you've been through. Something that I think would be really helpful for a lot of people who have been through DV. I can't talk on regards of SA. I know there's people in this community who can, but I can't personally. But people who've been through DV, a lot of times they've been isolated by their partners, and it can really affect you being able to build them friendships again. I know it did with me. Like, since I moved for safety, I've not made any close friends in my area. That is something that would give a lot of help, I think. I think a lot of women probably do go through that similar. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I know a lot of you guys watching this have been through DV and you got isolated. Like, I personally have found it really hard to make proper friendships again. Don't get me wrong, like, I've connected with people, but I've not had a proper close friend since I was moved for safety. You know, that kind of person who you can go shopping with, or you can have round your house for a brew. I've not had that since this. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is something I think a lot of girls and women and men who've been through this need, is that ability to find somebody that who can be that confidant, who you can talk with and create friendships. like, I know that they have like these meetings and all that, but that can sometimes be overwhelming and intense. Like, there should be a way to do this that isn't going to make people feel like so overwhelmed. And do you know what I mean? There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. Anyway, the next part says, a stronger system. The plan intends to improve the systems and processes that underpin the response to DA across society. This includes the expansion of the successful Ask for Annie code word scheme to be piloted in job centre offices across the UK. That is a good idea, by the way. That is a really good idea. For people who are scared and that, to be able to say things like Ask Annie, but for something that's a code word, right? If you've got your abuser right here, something that's widely known like that, and you've got the person stood here next to you, how are you supposed to do that? Do you know what I mean? How are you supposed to do that? Anyway, 7.5 million over 3 years to enable, or even if you might not go to job centre, you might work or whatever. Anyway, let's carry on. Or you might be disabled. 7.5 million over 3 years to enable healthcare professionals to better identify, refer and support victims and survivors of DA. So I'm just getting palpitations because I talk about all this. Brings it up, doesn't it? You can't see me, I've got my hand on my chest here. People do need to realise how to better identify it, because sometimes a man or a woman can be very good at masking, and so can the abuser there who stood with them. He can be love bombing, and that's what they tend to do around people, is look like this very caring, loving partner who will do anything for their partner. You know, hold the shopping, or help with their bag or whatever, or hold their hand, give them PDA or whatever it is. Their personal relationship can really like hone in on that and be able to mask it and basically make it look on the outside like it's the perfect relationship. And whilst the victim is going through it, they'll probably be enjoying that their partner is being loving to them in that moment in time. And think, oh my gosh, it's finally getting better. Anyway, let's carry on. More work to support police to help identify and reduce the risk of unaliving in cases involving DA. Well, that would be good. Okay. The government has also introduced new measures in our police, crime, sentencing and courts bill, which will give victims of DA longer to report offences to the police so that abusers cannot evade justice. This is another thing that's really good, because sometimes it can take victims many years. Like, I don't know how long they are going to be adjusting it for, but it can take victims a long ass time to heal and be able to get over it. Like, there's no getting over it, but you know what I mean, heal enough so you feel confident to be saying, right, actually, I want to make sure that nobody goes through this with that person again. I need to go and let people know what they are like. Because when you're going through that in that moment in time, you feel like there's no escape. You feel like everybody is judging you. You feel like that, like, if you're a parent or whatever, you feel like that the people who are supposed to support you will think bad of you if you don't report things a certain way. I'm just glad that I got all the right assistance when I did, and got moved for safety. And a lot of people ain't that lucky. Right, it says here, Minister of Safeguarding Rachel McLean said, DA causes untold harm and misery in our society. Victims and survivors endure horrific ordeals that can stay with them for the rest of their lives. Exactly. It does stay with you for the rest of their life. Not can do, it does. Like, when you've been through something like that, it don't just disappear out your brain. Like, some people try and put it in a black box or whatever. Me personally, I've not been able to do that. My personal way of healing has been talking about it to people in an open way. You know, everybody deals with things differently. Anyway, so it carries on to say, every case is different, but there are a number of core principles that must drive our approach: preventing abuse, a more joined up approach, supporting victims, and cracking down on those that cause harm. Yeah. By putting these central to our plan, we will transform our response to DA. We must all work together to stop DA. I feel like that all these changes are a good thing. I feel like that there's just more conversation needed for this, and they need to talk to real survivors and stuff and see what they need. And this shouldn't just, this is England, this should be in every country. Okay, anyway, CEO of Refuge, Ruth Davison, said, Refuge is incredibly grateful to the Home Office for doubling its funding for our national DA helpline. The helpline is the gateway to specialist services across the country and both saves and changes women's lives. Again, it's just isolating that for women. What about men? Do you know what I mean? Like, some men go through this. I've had family members who are male and friends who are male who have gone through this. They need to have the option as well. Like, not all victims are women. There is victims of the other gender as well. And that goes for abusers as well. They're not all men. Okay, there is a high statistics that are men, but there is female abusers as well. Like, look at the case that we are covering right now. Anyway, the pandemic really did underscore the need for increased funding for special frontline services. Refuge helpline saw a sharp increase in demand, which in real terms means more women needing us than ever before. Then it goes on to say, National Police Chiefs Council lead for DA Assistant Commissioner Louisa Rolfe said, DA destroys lives, affecting not only victims but also whole families, with the impact going far beyond physical AS. Right. In policing, we have improved the identification and recording of DA offences, and through detailed research published by the NPCC last year, we now understand coercive and controlling behaviour featuring strongly in domestic unaliving. In light of these findings, we have improved police training with greater focus on empathy and understanding the dynamics of abuse, particularly coercion and control. We've also worked with partners to improve safeguarding and the management of serial and dangerous perpetrators, and through the COVID-19 pandemic, we have worked tirelessly to ensure victims are not isolated and able to access support. Yeah, I know that I'm glad that I wasn't in that situation then, thankfully. But when everyone was in lockdown, like, it was such a hard time for victims all over the world. However, we recognise there is much more to do. We must address the particular needs and additional barriers faced by victims from our diverse communities, with every victim deserving to be safe and to see being justice done. As police officers, this is our job, and we are frustrated when prosecutions are not pursued through our justice system, and so we are continuing to work with the Crown Prosecution Service to improve this. This domestic abuse plan offers an opportunity to take further steps to protect victims and tackle perpetrators. We are clear that we must continue to improve the policing response, but domestic abuse victims deserve a whole system response. Yeah, they do. Victims need to know they will be listened to. They will be safe and their needs and those of their children will be addressed. I'm delighted to see so many positive commitments from government to support victims and help tackle the harm of DA. Right, it's just a few more quotes off other people. I'm like 20 minutes in. So, final thoughts. Right. Obviously, like, I know a lot of you guys watching this are from other countries around the world, but you can still have an opinion on this and what you think about this. By the way, guys, this isn't getting into politics or whatever. This is talking about people's lives, real people's lives, such as myself, such as many of you guys watching this. These changes that are going to be coming in are amazing. I feel like they are going to help so many people, and they're going to be able to be lifting people up to be able to fight, get that justice. But I feel like that there's still more to be addressed. There really is. I feel like there's so much more that can be done, and so much more that, you know, that, you know, I feel like they need to ask victims, survivors, what they need, what they want, what would they like to see change. People who went through it and felt like what support wasn't there for them, and how they can better that. For example, I was moved here to this new house for safety, but then, do you know what I mean, like, I was moved. I was told that I had to move, but I wasn't helped with any of the. I wasn't working. I wasn't helped with any of the funding, even though I'm a single mother of three. Wasn't helped putting any carpets down or anything, even though I was rushed to move to be safe. You know, needed to be safe. That's the kind of thing that they should be helping single parents with. Do you know what I mean? When they are having to move to be safe. So, do you know what I mean? Like, it took me a long time to get my home into a home for my children. There's all sorts of things, but I would like to ask you, what do you think that your government could do to help survivors and victims? Again, this isn't about getting into politics, about a certain politician or prime minister, president, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. I do not care about that. What I want to know is what things would you change? What things do you think survivors need or supporters need? Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description, because it's from the British government. I'm not sure if everyone will be able to read it, but anyway, I've just read it to you anyway, so it don't really matter. Anyway, if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm sending you all this love. Please hit the thumbs up, and I will see you soon for either another video or stream. Take care, guys. Love you all to bits.